Hi, everyone. Welcome to another DPI Presents. So glad that you are here and taking time out of your day to invest in yourself. So today we're going to be talking about goal setting, which is a topic that we have been talking about very frequently because it really is something that a business owner should do over and over and over again. It's a repeatable process and system that you need to have within your business. Just a little bit about myself. I am now an owner of two different businesses. So co-founder of DPI, but then also I have my own wellness business where I sell different products to help people with their mental wellness. In my past life, I spent 25 plus years in retail. And one of the things at one point, I had 200 people that were in my span of control. I had 12 different district managers, all calling on me for different necessary competing priorities. And I really had to figure out a system for me to be able to make progress within my division. And one of the ways that I did that was really looking at where was I spending my time? And was I spending my time on what mattered most? I remember I would receive so many emails because I would have so many people just copying me on their emails. And so it was just very hard to navigate all the different carbon copies of emails, the emails that I was actually receiving, the emails that had a deadline that I needed to work towards. And I just remember telling my director at that time that I am managing people, not emails. And that was a priority for me. So the very first part of goal setting is to really map out what is most important to you. What is a priority to you? What do you want your legacy to be? Do you want it to be that you were able to manage emails and be able to have zero emails in your inbox? Then go for it. But if it is something that is different, then you want to make sure that your calendar shows where you are investing your time, because that is a direct correlation into what your legacy will be. So being productive isn't just about getting a lot of things done. You will hear people really talk about time management, but who can really manage time? It is this thing that we have that none of us can really manage, but we can make sure that we're using our time in a way that it is used on what matters most for us. So productivity isn't about getting a lot done. It's about getting done what matters most to you, because you can be doing a lot of activities in your business and not be making progress. So we all have limited resources, whether it's time, money, operation systems, team members, capacities. We all have limited resources. And so goals allow you to have the clarity, the direction, the focus on where you should be spending those limited resources. So I wanted to tell you about how I goal set. So one of the first things that I do, I'm actually going to share my screen because I just kind of came up with just a little screen for you to see. So here you can see set goals for what matters most. And a lot of times we spend time just setting goals, but this is really about what will matter most for you. So as we talk about 2022, this is my process that I use in regards to setting goals. And many people will say, I'm a planner, I'm very organized, I am productive, but it's because I have adopted this system. So I define what it is that matters most to me. And this is personally and professionally. Is it a holiday that I'm going to be celebrating? Like last year, my husband turned 50. My son also turned 21. That was something that really mattered to me. And I wanted to make sure that it was a big deal and it was celebrated and I didn't just let it slip by. So what is it that is most important to you? Last year was about me being able to launch my book, and I had to have a whole timeline and process for that to become a reality. So that was something that I made a priority. So in your business, for me, in about August of the previous year, I will sit with my accountant, my bookkeeper, and really start thinking about where I am going to end my year financially, because financial goals are sometimes one of the most important goals that we set. So I look at all the data that I have accumulated throughout the year and use that to kind of predict where I'm going to end my year, what my tax liability is going to be, and then talk with my accountant to really figure out what are some tax saving strategies. Because by the beginning of the following year, the only thing she can help me do is to prepare my taxes. So that starts for me in August. I then start to spend a lot of time in reflection, reflecting on my sales activities, marketing activities, what has worked well, but also what has not worked well. What is it that is still needed? On a personal level, I keep a gratitude journal. And so I will go back and reflect on just the small wins that I've written about that I might have forgotten that has happened throughout the year. And then I start making a list, because that list of my successes, yet also my opportunities to grow, provide a rabbit trail of clues on where I should be setting goals for the following year. So that is the reflection part of it. The next thing that I do is think about, by December 31st of the next year, what is it that I would have wanted to achieve? Now, this list gets very, very long, and I just put all these different things that I want to achieve. And then I start to decide, okay, based on what matters most to me, the larger picture of where I want to go, my 5-year strategic goals, what becomes a priority for the following year. So it's always important when you're goal setting to tie it back into your long-term goals. That's what's most important, to tie it back to your long-term goals. So if I know that I want to make sure that I am spending quality time with my children, I want to make sure that in my goals for the year that I am putting that into my calendar to decide what matters most to me. And that could be as simple as putting the phone down 2 hours every evening to spend time with my son, who's actually still here in the house. But I break all of those things that I want to achieve into just really generic buckets. And it's like health, it could be business, marketing, sales, operations, even my habits, my workout habits, my drinking water, staying hydrated habits. And then that's when I rank and prioritize those. And that moves us into the next one, which is the priorities. What should be a priority for you? And as you start to rank those, you will start to then see where it is that your goals will lie for the following year. So when I'm writing the goals for all of those different buckets that I have, health, business, habits, operations, sales, marketing, volunteering, I want to make sure that they are specific. I don't want to just say, I want my business to grow, or I want to improve my sales. That is not going to be an effective way for me to measure or know if I've actually achieved that goal. So I want to write specifically, I want my business to grow by 20%, and this is the way that I'm going to do it. I want to make sure it's a very specific goal that ties back to my long-term strategic pillars. I want to make sure that it's measurable as well. I want to ensure that there is evidence that I am making progress. What are the mile markers throughout that year that will let me know that I am making progress towards my goal? The next thing is making sure that it's relevant. I can come up with something that has nothing to do with where it is that I want to go. So I want to make sure that the goal that I am setting for myself for the following year is a relevant goal, is something that's attainable, that I can actually not be intimidated by, but that I'm motivated by. And then I also make sure that there is a time that I put to it. So there is something that I want to trademark, let's say in 2022. And so I can say within first quarter, I want to start the research, or I want to have, researched a lawyer, an attorney that can help me in the first quarter. By second quarter, I want to do X, Y, and Z. So you set these mile markers, make it specific, make it measurable, attainable, and relevant, and then put time around it so you can hold yourself accountable. Then the next thing is celebrate. I celebrate small wins along the way, because sometimes we can be so focused just on where we want to go, we forget to celebrate the small wins that we have on our journey to our final destination. So I check back in monthly with my goals, and then quarterly with my consultant, to make sure that I am staying on track. You can set all the goals that you want to, but if you do not build in an accountability process, most likely you're going to forget about where it is, what mattered to you, what you set out to do at the beginning of the year by the time it's March or July or even October. So you want to make sure that you build in that accountability. We can't bring back normal. normal is not coming back. So in 2022, we're going to have to get very intentional to get unstuck and not keep doing things the old way. So I really hope that this helped you, just sharing a little bit with you about my process for goal setting, reflecting, thinking about what I want to achieve, making that into a list, ranking them in regards to priorities, and then celebrating my small wins. And of course, building in accountability. Thank you for listening. Whether you are viewing this, there will be notes where you can get links and to this that I have presented to you. But be well and stay safe. Bye.